The Tyrannosaurus in the attic. Some toys don't play, they remember. Salem, Massachusetts, autumn 2023. Scarlet leaves blanketed the ancient streets of Salem, where the shadows of witches still whispered beneath slanted rooftops. It was here that Téo Vance received the news. His promotion to Chief Curator of the Salem Historical Museum had been approved. With the bonus, he decided to finally do what he'd postponed for years: renovate the old family house in Salem, inherited from his grandparents. The four-story colonial house with its weathered brick walls and jammed sash windows had been purchased by his parents in 1998. Back then, Téo was 11 years old. He remembered the scent of beeswax mixed with ancient dust, the sinister creak of the oak staircase, and that room on the third floor, where, among moving boxes, he found a toy that would change his life forever. A Tyrannosaurus. Not just any dinosaur, it was a Rex roarer, manufactured by Dino Toy, Inc. In 1950, amber glass eyes, yellowed plastic teeth, and a small lever on its belly. When pulled, it unleashed a guttural mechanical roar, followed by a metallic click. That night he hugged it, believing it was a gift from his father. He ran to him, bouncing with joy, and kissed his cheek. "Thank you for the dinosaur, Dad." Malcolm Vance looked at the toy, confused. He hadn't bought it, but in the chaos of the move, he didn't think much of it. "Go play in your room, champ. This place is a mess." Téo pulled the lever. Nothing happened. The dinosaur didn't roar. Uninterested, he tossed it into a corner and went off to play with his toy cars. At 3:27 a.m., he woke to a sound. Grrrr. Click. He opened his eyes. Silence. He went back to sleep. The next morning, his father was dead. Heart attack. Age 35. Healthy. No history. No explanation. His mother, Lara, wept in the hallway. He went to sleep and never woke up, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. Téo didn't cry. He just stared at the Tyrannosaurus, still lying on the floor, its plastic grin frozen in place. It looked satisfied. Years later, the dinosaur ended up on a shelf, then in a box, then in the attic. Téo never touched it again, but he also never threw it away. It was the last gift from his father, or so he believed. He graduated in archaeology, worked with cultural memory and historical trauma. Cruel irony. He helped communities heal from the past, but never faced his own. At 25, promoted, he returned to the house to renovate it. His mother, now a widow and as skeptical as ever, said, "Time to burn it all, Téo. This house is full of echoes that should never be heard." Téo climbed to the attic. Thick dust, spiderwebs like abandoned bridal veils, the scent of rotting wood and stale incense. He found a box labeled Toys, 1998. At the bottom, beneath rusted tin soldiers and ghost ship puzzles, there it was. The Rex Roarer. The moment he touched it, a biting cold shot up his fingers, as if the toy had just emerged from a crypt. He nearly dropped it. Then, grrrr. Click. The roar echoed on its own. Téo screamed. He hurled the dinosaur back into the box and ran downstairs. "Mom, get rid of this. Burn it. Bury it. I never want to see it again." Lara rolled her eyes. "That damn dinosaur. Again?" Before they could argue, Téo's phone rang. It was the hospital. His best friend, Livia, had been in a motorcycle accident. She was in a coma. Téo rushed there. Livia died 2 days later. That night, exhausted, Téo returned home. He took off his shoes, walked to the guest room, where he was sleeping during the renovation, and there, on the pillow, the Tyrannosaurus. Same fierce grin, same cracked plastic, same amber stare. "Mom," he called, trembling. "Did you put this here?" Lara appeared in the doorway, looked, and turned pale. "My God, I threw that thing into the river 10 years ago. How did it?" Téo felt his blood freeze. The following weeks, every time the roar sounded, someone died. First, Uncle Aorian. Sudden stroke. Then, the neighbor's cat. Poisoned. Then, Livia's ex-fiancé. Overdose. Téo, rational until then, began to doubt his own sanity. "It's not coincidence," he told his mother, eyes wide. "It's him, the Rex. He warns." Ilara, who never believed in ghosts but did believe in things that carry weight, decided to call the priest. Father Silas Crow arrived with his breviary and thick Essex accent. He entered the room, saw the dinosaur on the table, and stepped back. "Sweet Mother of God," he whispered. "That's the Vance Rex." Téo's eyes widened. "You know this toy?" The priest sat down, pale. "I've known it since I was a seminarian. Your grandfather, Edgar Vance, received this dinosaur in 1947. 2 months later, he died. Heart attack. Your grandmother hid it in the attic. She said, 'Let the past rest, or it will awaken.'" Téo swallowed hard. "Did my father get it from someone?" "No, son. He found it. Just like you. This toy, it's not cursed by demons. It's cursed by unburied memories. It's an inheritance of unresolved grief. It doesn't kill, it remembers. And when it remembers, death follows, because your family's pain was never healed. It was only hidden." Téo felt tears burning his eyes. "So how do we make it stop?" The priest sighed. "You don't stop it. It stops when the pain is faced. Until then, it will keep passing from generation to generation, and every time someone finds it, someone will die." Silence. "Then, we have to leave," Ilara said firmly. "Yes," the priest agreed. "But first, let's seal it." The ritual. That night, Father Silas performed a simple yet symbolic ritual. He scattered Atlantic sea salt in the corners of the house, lit incense of rosemary and rue, prayed in Latin, not to banish demons, but to bless the memories that cry out. He placed the Rex Roarer inside an aged oak box, tied a black ribbon around it, symbol of mourning and protection in Salem's Puritan tradition, hung a small medal of Saint Agatha around the dinosaur's neck, protector against sudden evils. "May the memories rest," he murmured, "and may the living walk forward without looking back." He locked the box with a wrought iron padlock. On the lid, he wrote in silver ink, "To whoever finds this, let it remain buried. Do not turn the key. Do not pull the lever. Do not awaken what sleeps." The next day, Téo and Ilara left Salem without looking back. They sold the house for a pittance, with the clause that everything in the attic must be incinerated. They lied, of course. The box was still there. 3 months later, the house was bought by the Whitlocks, a young academic couple from Boston. He, a professor of comparative mythology. She, a child therapist. They brought with them Noah, 8 years old, curious, energetic, and obsessed with monsters. On their first night, while his parents unpacked, Noah explored the house. He climbed to the attic, found an old box covered by a purple sheet, the color of Salem's witches. Inside, a dinosaur, amber eyes, fierce grin, rusty lever. He smiled. "Cool, a real T-Rex." He pulled the lever. Grrrr. Click. From downstairs, his mother called. "Noah, what was that noise?" He answered, gently stroking the cracked plastic. "Just my new dinosaur, Mom. He's fierce." And outside, beneath the cold autumn moon, the leaves kept falling, as if time itself knew that soon someone would cry again. Have you ever found something that shouldn't have been there? A forgotten toy, a childhood object, a box in the attic. And when you touched it, did you feel that chill, that shiver, as if something knew you were there? Maybe you also have a Rex Roarer in your life. It's not a real dinosaur, but a symbol, a trigger, a memory that refuses to stay buried, even when you swear you've laid it to rest, because the true horror doesn't live in Salem's old houses. It lives in the drawers we never open, in the attics of the soul, and sometimes all it takes is to pull the lever. If this story gave you chills, leave a comment. The T-Rex found me. If you've ever felt an object brought bad luck, I would have buried it in lead. If you think Téo should have destroyed the toy, warn me if the roar sounds. If you want more stories like this, and if you believe or have ever doubted that some toys truly hold memories, leave a like, hit the bell, subscribe, because here the stories don't end when the video stops. They're just waiting for you to pull the lever again.